divisional round is in the bag. Where should we start? Jags Chiefs? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is dominated by the Mahomes ankle injury, and it looks like we've got on the screen at the bottom here that he's going to be playing. Yeah, on Sunday, and I think that put a different complexion on this game. I don't think anyone's shocked. I don't think anyone's surprised by anything that happened in this game. The only thing I would say is I think the Jags handled themselves with class.
Yeah,
like I just thought that the way they came on the field, the way they took to the challenge, they didn't quit. They pushed the game right to the end. I know they didn't win the game. It's easy to say, right? But they pushed it. They didn't gift this to the Chiefs. They're not as good as the Chiefs. I don't think that's unfair to say. They picked number 1 in the draft this year. But I thought Trevor Lawrence handled himself. It was a good game. It was a fair game. And the one thing I'll say about Trevor Lawrence, I thought what he did at the end of the game was absolute class. Was first one off the field. He waited at the entrance of the tunnel and he clapped off and applauded all of his teammates. Which is a leader of an organization, I think, is an incredible gesture and an incredible thing, especially when you're, 23, 24 years old.
Yeah,
so the maturity to do something like that. I absolutely
in the face of disappointment as well, because he must be hurting himself.
In the face of disappointment, yeah. Well, I think we said it last week, right? They were free rolling. I don't think. Obviously, you're disappointed to lose that game, but I don't think you're shocked. I don't think you're walking away from there thinking like, oh my God, I can't believe we've lost that game. I think it was a fair result, and the Chiefs kind of always had it in control to a degree. But respect the Jags. They phenomenal end of season to win in the wild card round, and then to push the Chiefs all the way. Really, they're going to be a good team next year. I look at them now and think they've got to be favourites for the AFC South. They've got to be favourites for the AFC South.
Yeah.
I mean, you could talk about the Titans, and maybe if they get the QB situation sorted with all the other positions they've got, they could challenge them. But yeah, I think the Jags, like I said, I think they become a hot ticket in London. But yeah, good performance from both teams. Again, I don't think it was a shock, but it's just now about Mahomes. This has got a sounding of Super Bowl 55 about it, where Mahomes has been injured and he's playing hurt, and then it's all about the teams that he plays now. Can they take the same advantage that the Buccaneers did in Super Bowl 55 and basically exploit that injury? That's what's going to have to happen now for them not to win it.
So moving on from that,
what do you think?
I thought that Jags wouldn't win, but I thought they would make a game of it, and that transpired to be that way. I just think the Jags are a step short at the minute on those elite teams up there. Obviously, the trouble to Mahomes didn't help the Chiefs. I think it might have been a little bit more comfortable, but the Jags can only play what's in front of them and deal with that situation. So, hey, I think they'll take great heart out of getting there in the first place, great heart out of the way they performed when they were there, and they'll build on that. And as you say, quarterback set, receiving core looks pretty decent at the minute. Head coach is now in there and settled, and they'll move forward as an organisation, I believe now. I make them favourites to win the AFC South. Depending on what their schedule looks like, I haven't done any depth into it, but obviously winning the division is probably going to make it a little bit tougher than it has been. But no, they're on the right track for the first time in a couple of years, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely are. And this is different to 2017 when they made the AFC Championship game. That always felt like a fluke. Like it was built on a great D. And I mean, listen, they should have gone to the Super Bowl. They got a bit unfortunate with a call there against the Patriots, and that call pretty much changed the course of the game. But it never felt like they were ever going to go back and do it again. It never felt like the start of something. This feels more like the start of something than it does
It does.
This was a 1 year fluke. It doesn't feel like that. It just feels like this team clicked and it got better and it got better. Very similar to the Bengals last year. Only the Bengals were better and had a little bit more about them. But then they're back this year, the Bengals. And I think that the Jags could be on that similar trajectory to where the Bengals were. And I think we'll see what happens. But Doug Peterson's done a fine job. And
Yeah.
it was definitely, I would say, of all the games, this was the best game of the weekend. This was the one that I think held my interest the most. It had
It
the
was more of
most
a
story.
contest. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like, whilst the game was never really in the balance, it also never felt like it was an impossibility that it was completely over.
Yeah, somebody to step up, take that game for the Jags and make a turnover, get a pick six. They could have found their momentum shift in their favour, and it didn't quite come to that.
Yeah.